So this is a data set. Why this is a data set? This belongs to a certain class. So you need to organize a certain class of data into one particular container. So this way you get to move your data as you want. So organizing data is the one way of one purpose of arrays. Just that organizing data works. Is it okay? Then yeah, it works, because entire data is good. If I ever wanted to know who are all there in my class, uh, I can simply console log it and I know that. That is good. And you can operate on this array, right, to remove some elements, to add some elements, or you can operate on this array, but the class remains the same. The set remains the same. So you can remove anything from set. So here, if you go to this example, I can have all these items in a list, array list, and I can remove one item from the array, and that changes affecting on the view as well. So if I can build something that look at array, build, push all the data onto the UI, whichever is present. So I'll simply delete one item from array, and that will also get deleted on the view, isn't it, guys? So that's how you should look at it. You should bind your view to the data, and you should only delete data or add the data and manipulate the data, and view should be automatically being updated. So that way we simplify the process. Okay, you go and update the data, also go and update the UI. That doesn't work, right? There should be a process. You always bind your view to your control data, and you simply remove items from your data, and that should actually automatically be updating the view. That is a good thing. Okay, I only worry about data. To control, I only worry about data. I don't worry about view. So there are different ways that you can control your data with. Okay, if this is the array items, you can splice out and take some of the arrays, like console.log. If I wanted to take a bit piece of a certain piece of this array, okay, for some purposes. So I just wanted to log a trainer out of this class. I just want a trainer, not the students. So where is the trainer now in this array? You can put it in the chat. Where is the trainer in this class? Who is the trainer? Ganesh is the trainer, I know.
Index 0 first.
Oh, you can't. Yeah, index 0. Yes, first place. Nishita, you can't see my screen. Is it, guys?
Yeah.
Oh my God, why not? Let me reshare. Can you guys screen now?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay. So let me know if you are unable to see. Yeah. As you said, just yes, it is the first position. Trainer is on the first position. If I want it, how do I access it? You have to put square braces. So square braces 0. So as I said, we are selecting one item from the chocolate box that is already available. So the position of these items will change 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But what is the length of it? The positions are like this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the length of it?
It's 5.
6.
6.
Yeah, Karthik said it right. 0, 1, 2,
Yeah, 6,
4,
6.
5. 5 are the fifth position. The array has 5 positions until 5, but the items are 6. Let me show that. How do you know that? How do you know the length of the array? So you can log it like this. like this. And how do you retrieve one item from that array? You have to put a square brace or position, mention the position there. So 0 position is Ganesh, 1 is Kranti, 2 is Karthik. Just a moment. I'm sorry guys, and today have some disturbance. So this is how I get the item in the position I want. So bear with me. So if you don't able to, so most of the time what happens, people people confuse or start thinking about how do I use this, how do I that how do that this thing that I'm learning come into handy. So it will come into handy. Bear with me and just focus on learning this. I know. Okay, how do I put an element to this? Okay, how do I put an element to this? You can say push. I said, so remember when you're building something for some customer, okay, so like if you are a mechanical engineer or if you are a car manufacturer, you deliver a car, okay, with certain functionalities, right? So there is a noise, sharp noise. So I'm just put everybody onto mute. Okay, now it is fine. So when you're building a car, I just want a I mean if someone wants to type it out, it is fine, but even unmute yourself and talk and go on mute again. So if let's say you are a car manufacturer, okay, let's say you are a car manufacturer and you built a car. You're selling it to your customer. Okay, I'm a bad, I don't know driving much. So I'm not very really good at it, but consider this as a customer and this is a car. Like you built a car. Okay, you're delivering it. What would you say to this customer? You might hand over a user manual. What could be there in the user manual? Can any guesses?
How we use or start
About the car.
basic fundamental things which helps to user to use the application or the car.
That's a fine understanding. So let's talk about car. So what he might give about this car in the user manual. So basically, he might say specifications. Yes, you're right, Nishita. He would give you specifications like these are all the things that are in your car. Okay, you have car, this engine, this color, this thing, that thing, that thing. All the specification will be in the user manual, and along with that specifications, operational instructions. Operational instructions. How do you start the car? How do you stop the car? Okay, it may not give you a driving lesson, but gives you where do you hit a button. If it is a push start, you get an instruction to say, place the key in somewhere in the car and you click this button, it will start. So all these kinds of information he will dump in that user manual. So when JavaScript is giving you the same thing, okay, like array, you get the certain features too of the car, like features. So if I log this, I'm getting an array. So consider this as a product. Along with array, there are so many things that are coming up like this. So these are all the methods of that particular car. If this is a car, okay, these are all the methods. Start is a method, stop is a method, brake is a method, clutch is a method. There are so many methods to get you what you want, to achieve the functionality. Yeah, to achieve that functionality, you would use certain methods, 2-3 methods, and you drive the car. You hit the brake, you change the gear, you hit the clutch, you change the gear, and you hit the accelerator, and your car moves. Okay, you use the combination of methods that are offered from the car and you get the job done. Same thing with the arrays. So I want to arrays per car's purpose is to get moving. Arrays purpose is to store data. So I have to store, if there is a container, like say if there is a ship container, okay, this scenario can be compared to a ship container. So there is a container, there is a space in it, infinite space. Like if you go into it, there is no limit to that container. It can store entire world if it needs to be. So that is kind of a container that God came to you and gave you. So that's kind of a comparison that I can give to array. Okay, and you need to put some data, like dynamically you need to remove from elements from that array. You need to put some elements in that array. So you need to put some element, you need to remove some element. Okay, you need to view the elements, like whenever you want, you can go inside the container, roam around the container and look at your contents. So if that is the case, how do you put some content? Push to add some content there, like whom else from we are missing from here? Someone is here, Ravi is just, Karthik, Kranti. So we're missing Nichita and we just wanted to push Nichita into, and we have the length. So the return value of this item is 7, but I don't want to log the return value, but just want to log before this and after this here. So before the push statement, it was this is the state, and then we have Nichita at the end. So if I wanted to remove particular element, you would say the method that you need to use is pop. Okay. First this, and then Nichita added, then pop is executed. Pop removed the last element. That is Nichita. If I wanted to add the same thing or add Nichita to the front of the class, I'd say unshift, and again so initially Nichita was not on the first item, that you can now see her in the first place. So you can do the same. You don't have to specify anything here. You can just say shift. If you hit this method, the first item will be removed. So first Nichita was there, then shift is executed, and then Nichita was removed. So the elements kind of unshift, adds, shifts, removes the first element. Push and pop removes the last, pop removes the last element, and push adds at the end. Unshift adds in the front, and shift removes from the front. So these are all pretty basic methods that you can do. Okay, the next method is array.concat, like concat, not contact. Concat, I can say, I can add two arrays. I can add two arrays from this group. So this is one array. I'm just not adding one element. I'm adding an entire array to this array. Now if I console log, I don't see two arrays, but one array. I only see one array with Nichita in it. Okay. Okay, this creates a new array. You have to save it into new array. See, Nichita is at the end. Okay, it does not add on this particular array. This will not change this array, but this itself creates a new array. It will contact this array and this array, both of them. It will concatenate and gives you a new array. So you have to store it into a new array. Maybe you can say where full class is this. Maybe if I log for full class, I get all the list in the class. Yeah. So how do I, divide an array? So I might sometimes see a need to divide an array. Okay. Class kibble, you can say split. Splice. So splice is nothing but you split the element. So first argument goes the start number, which from where you want to slice me up, like take a piece out of array. So I just want the one trainer out of the system to be extracted. How many trainers are there? The trainer is on 0th index. And how many trainers are there? Only one trainer, so one position. So if I hit this, I get that one particular item extracted out. Or if you ever wanted to replace the same item, okay, let's say I just don't want Ganesh to be as a trainer. I want somebody else to be trainer for some for one session or so. So I can replace Santosh. So now if I console log the entire array again, some methods directly manipulate the source array. Some method return a new array itself. They does not change the existing array. So if you see, I just wanted to splice out zeroth index just to pick one item, that is Ganesh. And the third operator is in this place. So I'm saying select the 0th index, remove one item. This is Ganesh. So not two items. If I wanted to remove two items, Kranti will also go. And then the third parameter is the parameter that needs to be inserted in the place of that removed instance. So now you could see Ganesh was removed, and in the place of Ganesh, Santosh is coming. So if you are building your to-do notes, if you wanted to remove something, you could simply use splice. So when I click the button, a delete button on a node, I can find that 0, 1, 2, 3 the index and put one, and you can remove that one particular item, and you can repaint your UI. So you can remove and replace certain elements with this method. Any questions so far?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we use a string instead of the position of the string of the array in this slice?
In the splice, you only supposed to use a position. Splice will only take a position. Start number. So this is the syntax that it expects. Anything that you send here will not work. Okay, it expects a number, and it expects the delete count as numbers. So where do you want me to start? From this point onwards, how many items you want to delete? This is the count of the items that I want to delete. So that's the math here. It's defined. This method is defined. You cannot change that. So if you hover this method, you'll get that help snippet. So it will only take numbers as of now. Hope that is clear.
Yeah.
Any method you take, you just go. It gives you that syntax, how it should work. Array dot contact and some of the array items. That's it. This
If
is
we
what
give 0, 2, Santosh,
it will remove two elements.
and add one element. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you do it like this, Kranti was also gone. So it started from Santosh, Karthik, 7. This remove two elements. If I put 2, it remove 2 elements. And I can add multiple elements here like this. See? I can add an array in here on that position, because array position can have anything, right? Okay, I can replace that one particular, I can reinsert some of the values. And if I send it, this as a third parameter, everything will be added there. Nice. So many questions. That means you're able to follow. Good. Okay. So can I move on?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Next is contact. We have seen for each. Okay. For each is nothing but, if you write a for loop for array, right? What is the syntax? If you are supposed to, iterate through an array, okay, most of the time we iterate through an array. Why do we iterate through an array? To know what is the each. Okay, there's a question from Nichita. Can we use the same variable for more than one time to give different array values? Oh yeah, we can use it. We can refer, we can execute all of them together. There's no error. So if I can uncomment this, I'm using all of these methods and all of them will execute. So I'm just commenting out to not to have so many console logs in this one, but so, you can use it any number of times to do any number of operations. It's just that I didn't want it the clutter in the console, so I'm just using it. Just give me a second. I'll turn on my AC. Usually, if I talk more, I need a room to be cool. Even in the mornings, I don't know. Now at being at home, I can realize why office infrastructure does have ACs as a mandatory, because we really cannot work. We can stay in at home with that comfort without any air conditioning or anything, but we cannot work without a proper ventilation. Okay, that's a part. So if I wanted to iterate through an array, okay, we have this solution. For I, first initialization, then condition, and then increment. This is the syntax of for loop. Okay, I want this for loop to run until the array position, the I should be less than the length of that particular array, because our array position start from 0, the length is 6, but array positions are 5, so this condition works. So now I can say I is changing a number each time, so I can simply put, for the first time I is 0, second time I is 1, third time I is 2, 3, 4. So I runs till I is 5. So I get to log all the elements. Okay, if I try this, yes, I'm getting. So I can simply log like this. Position of, and simply logging this. 0 is the position of Ganesh, 1 is the position of Kranti, Karthik, Jayesh, Ravi, and so on. So something like this. So each iteration I is changing, and each iteration the this is constant, it is not changing, but class of I, so when it is 0, class kibble of 0 is Ganesh, 1 is Kranti, 3 is Karthik, so on and so forth. It'll log entire thing until the length is met. Okay, this is how I logged all the items in the array. Okay, if I wanted to push this into a inner HTML, I can say some HTML lm dot inner HTML is equals to this. This will not execute in the local, but I can simply do this, right? I can put this text in inner HTML. So I get all the contents getting inserted into this inner HTML. Okay, you can do the same with for each. Okay, but this time for each method, if I enclose, it will not only give you, so you don't need to write a for loop to go through in each array. So, okay, if you see for each, the argument it says is the callback function. It will take a function as an argument, and this function each time, so it will call that method. Let's say for each is the method, so it is expecting a callback. So I'll say callback, okay, or I can say count, and this is the method. Okay, this is the callback method. Okay, this method is going to each iteration for the, so it's going to call this method for as many times that this array has the items. So if it has 3 items, this method will be called 3 times. So this function will be called 3 times. Each time it is calling, it will send a value as the first item, index as a second item, and entire array as a third item. So let me look at it. So I'll just say I'll use a function. I'll not create a new function. So each time it is calling that. So if there are 6 items, it will call this function 6 times. Okay, and each time it is calling the function, it will send value, index, and entire array. Let me log these items. Console.log b comma. If you are confused now, you will be confused for the entire session. So don't take a chance. Ask me questions. Here, let me show you the output. You see the output? The for each method responsibility is to call one function number of times that is equal to the count in that array. If there are 6 items, it will call the same function 6 times. So if I move this function, see, let's look at it like this. Okay, I'll call this, I'll give this as a reference. So there is a method I have created, a function that I created, and I give that function reference here. And it will call that function and send you the values to work with. Okay. Any question? You need to understand this particular snippet very clearly. For each method, will call this method. Okay, if you give a name, it will look for that one particular function, calls as many times. So we call this as a callback function. It will call this given callback function, equivalent to the items in that array. If it is one item, it will only call the method once, like you see. Like this. Instead of writing a big loop, you can just say for each, and for each will be acting like a loop to the number of items, and it will call a function and send these variables. Okay, value as a first operator, index as a second, first parameter, index as a second parameter, array as the entire array as the third parameter. I'll take a pause. Let me know if you have any confusion. The silence is yes, guys. Silence is a answer.
We can use it in any array, like multiple arrays. Looping is a function. We can use it multiple times in a multiple arrays.
Yes, no matter what is there in the array, for each is going to be, so for each is will not work if you have, I mean, if you have an array inside array, okay, so it will not run three times, one position, two position, three, it will not run. So this parent array, if you are writing for each on this array, so for this array, this is only one position. No matter if it is array inside or something, anything, let it be anything. Okay, it will only run once, because for this main array, this is one item. Okay, for this array, this is one item. Even if it is another array, you have to write for each on this again, this array again, to iterate through two times. So I hope I answered your question, Kranti.
Yeah.
Okay, now what you can do with this method, I don't have a clue. You can do, you can do anything you want. So you don't have to specify it, function for each somewhere, function somewhere. You can simply use a function keyword, and you don't have to define it somewhere else. Define it here, value first, increment first, second. Okay, and then you can call the function, and you can use this value and index an array and log the entire array if you want. So you don't have to write a for loop for this. So that's the kind of thing. So you can instead use a fat arrow function. What is a fat arrow function? It is just another function, but it will not syntactically different, but functionally the same. You don't have to. So basically, function, this is a function statement with a name to it. Okay. Both are same, guys. This and this are same. You don't have to. So this statement and this statement same. This will also give you understanding, and this will also give you same function. This is a function and this is also a function. Syntactically they are different. This is called fat arrow functions. Okay, I'm just using the same thing. So it's the same thing if I say function, a name, braces and open braces, but this is also the similar. It is much simpler way of creating a function available from ES6 version. Before that, if you're running in old browsers, this will give an issue, but in all the modern browsers, this function will work. You can simply log through all the values. Oh my God, I removed everything from this class. So let me go to a point where I have lots of items in that. Okay, let me replace everything. Console.log. I get all the values logged. Nice and good. So let me comment this out. So it's just to iterate through the items. Okay. So now it's time to filter find items in an array. It's sometimes you need to know what is there in the array. Okay, is that particular item there in that array or not? So if it is there, where it is, if it is if I have to avoid the hassle of finding, if it check whether it is there or not, or if there is, what is the index of it, you can simply find it. So you can do that operation. Console.log, I say class kibble dot index of just, if I say like this, it will loop through that array and give me that index that where just is 0, 1, 2, and third. So this is where it is. It is giving me that index. So it is finding for me, it is going through that array and finding that index and giving me the index. Okay. I can also check if that particular item in the array exists or not. Includes, like we have seen yesterday. Okay, it is at the third position, and second statements, let me know if it includes. It is includes. So if I say Turner and save it, it will say false. Okay, because this is again, don't get confused guys, this is again just only I changed the second statement. This is false because only just there, just Turner was not there. So if it includes or not, no, it does not include. If I remove, if I only look for just, yes, just is there. Okay, so I can also find an array. I can also find an array, and there's a find method too that you can search through it. So it's a simply shortcut of these both items. Okay, so any questions so far?
No.
Yeah, bro. Hello.
Yeah,
Bro, can you find the position of array within an array?
sorry, within an array.
Yeah.
I don't get.
If you are using multiple arrays in within an array, can you find their position? I mean, if you're using an array, complete set of array within an array, can you find that particular within array position?
So these are all the items in my array. Okay,
Or create another array in that particular array.
so okay, so now let me create this. Okay,
And replace one string with another number or boolean.
okay,
And now find that particular position or length of that particular
so
object.
yeah, it only works, the find methods only works on the first level so we call, so this is one array item. If you consider this as one array item. Okay, this is 1, 2. If this third item have, so what I'm saying is the find or any method that I'm explaining, it will only works in a linear mode. Mode for the top level only. If there is another array inside this array, okay, you have to write the same method for this array. So you have to find the item in that array again. So if you already know that this exists in the child array, you have to write it like this. Main array of 3 dot find. Not main array dot find. Main array of 0, 1, 2. 2 dot find. So let me give you how that works. Let me give you. So yeah, that's when data structures coming to. So if you DS and algorithms is another session. So if you sorry. Okay, if we were just saying, can I find it now? I am surprised. I'm genuinely surprised, guys. This shouldn't say just is in the method because this is in other array, but it is able to find. I'm genuinely shocked because includes method should look for array. So let me change it like this. This is another array. Yeah. I think I probably not saved that. Yeah, I haven't saved the file. Okay, I haven't saved the file. So I was kind of thought I saved the file. So if it is inside an array, okay, array, array inside an array, it will only search for the top level items. So I was kind of feeling is my understanding, but my understanding is right. So this is false because it is inside an array. If you want this statement to be true, what you could do 0, 1, 2, select the second item and then check it's true because now it is searching in this array only. Instead of searching, it will only search the top first level. If there are 2, 3 levels in that array, it will only search the top first level. It will not go to the next level. Hope that is clear.
Yeah.
If you want, you can write for each. So what you should do, if you want to search in 2 arrays, you can do it like this. So this is again, this will become dot for each fat arrow function and put v here, type of v, if type of v array, then again v dot find or includes yes, just trying to find and you also need to check the top level. So this is so this item will check the this item will check here. This item, this line will check if it is type of v is equals to array. I'm reiterating through, whenever I hit an array, it will check inside that array, child array. So I'm going through each. So this is kind of goes in a direction of algorithms, data structures, but we don't want to go there right away. But these will be given in the same high to low. These will be given in the same array. Nishita, I'm unable to follow your question. High to low. If we take a live example, price of a particular item will be specified from low to high. Yes. Or high to low. Yes. Yes, they can be part of same array. So you can sort the array. So we'll go there. The next topic is that only. Okay. So you can map next items we're gonna see is so filter, as the name suggests, it is used to filter an array. So how do you filter an array? So dot skibble filter. Okay, look at the syntax of that array. So you have to pass in a predicate, like a function. So a predicate function, a function that accepts up to 3 arguments. The filter method calls to predicate the function one time for each element in an array. So this predicate function will expect a return false or true. So if you return false, so that item will be removed from that array. If you return true, that item will be left in that array. So simply like this, same like for loop, a fat arrow function. Okay, this will make the syntax lighter. So I'm using that. As I said, same like for each, you get the first item as value, second item as index, third item as array. But you don't have to take everything. You can actually take whatever you want. I only concerned about value and I will only take that. Okay, so I will save the value, value that is coming out of this method into a new array. Now I'm saying class skibble. So I just want to filter out this array. What is the filter? Okay, the value dot length greater than 4. Okay, you have to return the value. Okay, return means this function value will be true or false. That is the only case, right? If value, what is the value? For each iteration, this predicate method will be called. So predicate method will each time take one value. First time it will take one value, Ganesh. Ganesh dot length is somewhere around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So length is 6. It's definitely greater than 4. What is the value of this? This is true. So return will be true. The entire method value will become true. Now, if this value is true, Ganesh will be in the array. If this value is false, this item will be removed. That one particular item will be removed from that array. So in the case of Jess and Ravi, it is true because length is not greater than 4. It is length is equal to 4. So this statement will become false. Let us see what is the value of new array. Here, no dot, array.js, have to execute proper file. Now you see the elements, the value, the element length. This is a string. This string does have a length, right? Yesterday we have seen strings does have a length. Each character is occupying a position, and now we have 4 length. The length is 4. So 4 length is not definitely greater than 4. That is means false. So this entire predicate method value become false. Now, if it is false, the item will be excluded in the result, and result is being stored into a new array. A new array will not have these items. So you might have seen, okay, in the Myntra side, we said, Anarkali, we excluded from Anarkali. So what happens? Like, let us say that, let us replicate that here. Let us not steal this method. Each item is a object. What is the object? Type is, so haven't we seen objects? I don't think we've seen objects.
No.
Let me, I should have gone over object. I'll explain you object. So in that case, I'll go with this. Anarkali 1. Okay. So I have 3 Anarkali dresses. Let's say anar, 3 anars, and maybe shirts, t-shirts. Okay, maybe 2 t-shirts. Okay, I have 2 t-shirts. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if class is not, now this is not dresses or garments. Garments is the array. Now garments array filter. What is the filter condition? Okay, only take anarchy. Okay, value equal to anarchy. Okay, only take anarchy. Whatever is anar, you only keep that. Rest of the things you remove. So only anar is present. So if I only want shirts, I should check only set to true for the shirts. So if the value, each item, it is iterating through this predicate method or function is called once for each value, and the value is being sent to that function. Now this guy is checking whether it is shirt or not. If this is shirt, this will be true. So whatever is true will be passed on to the new array. Whatever is false will be excluded from that list. So same thing happening. Okay, and you can extend this condition like this. Okay, let it be shirts or t-shirts. I just want shirt or t-shirt. I explained yesterday our statement, the entire statement becomes true if either of it is true. So if it is shirt, the entire statement will become true, and hence the entire function value be true. If this side is true, entire function is true. If this side is true, entire function is true. So it will keep shirts and t-shirts and exclude anarchies. Let's test that. So I have shirts and t-shirts, and I have removed all these items with ease. Is this filter method clear now, or any challenges? Assume this is your database array for UI. So you always perform a sort option, filter operation on your source database and add it into a new array that you can use it on UI. So this is used in UI. So each time, so garments is not there. Now it is database array. That is the reason I'm getting an error. Okay, console.new array. There is no array called new array. I renamed it. So this is how I get issues. See, if I only want anarchy, if I want anarchies also, I can simply add everything will be given. Nothing is excluded now. Everything is there. So that is how you use filter method. Map is completely a different thing. Okay. Map is used. So it will call the function for each element of the array and returns the array of results. Okay, it will return. I mean, it is same like filter. So so the result will be how do I say? How do I differentiate map between okay, so let me do it like this. So I want to know database dot map, and now same syntax. If you know for each, you probably understood everything. Value, and I can return the value. So not just manipulate it, I can return a value. So it doesn't matter if you return true or false. If you are using map, it doesn't matter. If you mainly map is used to transform. So if my shape is like Ganesh, if I use map, my face will become Ramesh, some person else. So I can transpose the array. So if I was explained objects prior to this, I would have make sense. But I can change the array shape and return a new array. So that's the main intention of the array. So now console.log, sorry, const or var new array equals. So the map method will give me an array of the lengths of the particular items. So when I console log this new array, I will see the lengths in the thing. Anar is 4 characters length. 4 first element as 4 items, second 4, third 4, fifth 4, 6, and next item is 6 characters, and next items have 2 items have 7 characters, rest of the items are 6 characters, and some of them have 4 characters. I'm getting a completely new array irrespective of what I'm returning true or false or whatever it is. I'm completely getting a new array out of the same array. Okay, I can join that some of the information like this. I'm concatenating. The length of V is Virat length. See, the length of Anar is 4. The length of Anar is 4. The length of shirt is 6. So I'm getting a new array. So that's the end of two other methods that I wanted to talk about is reverse and sort. I think that is something not new to everyone. So log dot sort is like it will sort the items like A shirts, whatever comes. Like if I have like this A last, but it will move A items, the all the items that are alphabetically in correct order will move to the top. If it is 1, 2, 3, so it will consider all kinds of possibility and sort it. And second method is reverse. So it will simply reverse all the items, set the order of the items in reverse order. So I had anars in the last, and I just moved everything to first. So it's kind of t-shirts next and shirts then. So this was the order: shirts, t-shirts, and ANR. Now I have ANR, t-shirts, and shirts. So it's just the reverse order in reverse. I can do it like this: 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I can see it will become 4, 3, 2, 1. So if I remove the rest of the element, I think that makes sense. So reverse will kind of makes it reverse. Sort will make the items sort. They are already in sort, so I might not see any change like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I put it reverse, it will become 4, 3, 2, 1. It's just that. So there is a concept called custom sort. So if I've already explained objects, that makes sense a lot, but if there is no objects explained, so let me go to objects. I'll spend a bit of time on objects. So let me just somebody dropped. Who is it? Kranti. Okay. Oh my god, I haven't started the recording. Is it continuing?
Bro, it is continuing.
It's recording.
Recording, yeah. Okay, so as I explained in the last session, or week 3 or week 4, I can't remember exactly, but So object is a pretty important subject in JavaScript because we've seen, array as an object, string as an object, number is an object. From yesterday onwards, we're seeing some methods. We're looking at, we are understanding some of the properties and some of the methods. So if you look at a coffee cup, what do you see? Okay, if you look at a coffee cup, you'll see the color, you'll see the height, you'll see the width, the size of the coffee cup, and how much coffee can it hold. So all these aspects you come into your mind. Okay, the entire world is made of objects. So why not a design is made of object? Yes, everything made, JavaScript or any other programming language or anything in the world is made of objects. So what is an object? Combination of properties and methods. So let me take you back to the car analogy. Okay. So if I have a car, what is property and what is method of a car? Can anyone explain? This is definitely a car, not a car. I know, kind of 1946 car. But what is a property and what is a method in the car? Anyone?
A car's property is to move from one place to another place for traveling, and car method is for, the functionality.
Okay, you're there. You're 80% there. Anyone want to add? Thanks, Karthik. Okay, why I'm going back to these means is that you need to understand the subject. Okay, so the width of the car, the height of the car, the color of the car, the tire size, okay, whether it has windows, okay, how many windows it has, how many seats it has, okay, how much height it has, everything is a property. Okay, because if I am a human being, what do I have? I have a house, that's my property. I have a car, that is my property. That is my property. What do I do for living? I work as a software engineer, lead software engineer. So that is my method. Simply. So objects are everywhere. Okay, if you look closely, you will find that properties and methods. So what I have is a property. What I can do is a method. Clear? So that's why we call our assets as property, because that is what we have. So when you look at somebody, you say he is a rich guy because he has rich properties attached to him. But just because he works in the construction business, that doesn't mean that he is a rich. He works there. Whether he has that properties with him or not is the second part of the question. So that's how you should look at it. In JavaScript also, it is the same thing. So, okay. So if you have an object, so why do we create objects? Okay. What is the need that I get an object? Okay. I'll tell you why. Where array is equals to Ganesh array. Okay. Ganesh array. My name is Ganesh. My age is so and so. My height is so and so. Okay, my height is so and so. Okay, my what are my other things? My other properties, like maybe weight. Yeah, weight is maybe 80 kgs. So this is a Ganesh object. Okay, So if I wanted to describe Ganesh with this object, console.log, my name is, or I can use backtick ones that we have learned yesterday. So I use this. My name is Ganesh of 0. That is where my name is, and then my age is same thing, Ganesh of 1, and my height is 2, and my weight is okay. Now node objects.js. So I'm getting my name is Ganesh, my age is 100, my weight is 10 feet, and my weight is 8 kilograms. This is fine. Okay, good. I if I come to my Facebook, let us say this is my Facebook page, my information is accurate. Okay, this is what I'm describing. See, you need objects to describe your elements. So your UI should describe of a person, or if you are supposed to describe about a dress, if you are building an e-commerce application, you have to always describe one item. Okay, in the world of web, you are always describe one item on the website. If it is a restaurant, you will describe about the restaurant. If it is an application, you describe about that application. So everything is around about the object. So now I made an object, array object. I can say object of array, and I use this. What is the challenge with this? Can anyone say what is the challenge with this approach that I used? What is the challenge? What is the potential problem that you see? Simple guess.
Unless you knew what you were, like 100 could be anything. So you're not really, someone coming to look at it might not know what that referred to.
Yeah, that's data related problem. Now there is a problem in my code. Let me give you a simple example. That's a data related problem. Yeah, anyone can change that. Now I removed my name. Somebody who don't understand the functionality just removed an item. Now my name is 100, my age is 10, and my height is 80 kilogram, and my weight is undefined. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, whatever the data I removed, that should be undefined, not everything. I removed name, my name should be undefined, and everything else should be defined. Everything else should be in place. Now my entire space, entire thing is dislocated.
What if we define the Ganesh as let or const?
Okay, let me try that. I don't think that is going to change anything. It's the same thing. Last thing is undefined. I removed the first thing, but I say this as undefined, but my name is 100. So what is the problem here now? Tell me what is the problem. Particular object with a particular object. Defines with a particular object. Yes. So what the problem is, I'm referring by a position, and if I'm referring by position, there is no way that I can know that this is the property that I'm expecting is really a name or not. There's no way saying it, right? There's no there's not a chance I'm gonna know that this is this property. So there is no attribution to this. There's no way of saying this is my age. There's no way of saying this is my feet. I mean height, and there's no way of saying this is weight. This is just a number. Okay. If I refer the number, it will just take the number and give it to us. There's no relation to it. So to solve that problem, objects actually come into picture. Now let me create Ganesh object, but this time around, okay, use the curly braces. Now say object is a combination of key value pairs. This is key and the value is Ganesh. Now, what is the next value? Age. Age is 100. So I'm actually attaching each value a particular name. Now, instead of saying 0, 1, 2, 3, I'm just saying name, age. So let us see if this solves my problem. Height 10 feet. Okay, Karthik is having tough time with his internet. 8 kg, that is my weight. Now, let me refactor my code. So Ganesh is no longer an array. It is an object. How do you access items in an object? You will refer by the key name. You say dot name. That is the key. Instead of saying 0, 1, you will say the key name. Whatever the key that you have given here, you will give the key name to access it. Now, here is my, I'm talking about age. Here I'm talking about my height. Here I'm talking about. So see, this is not defined because I said HCI height. I missed a T there. And now finally my weight. So I'll not refer it by name, number now. Now it makes sense because now it knows that I'm only talking about. So now let me put back my console. Now it's clear. My name is name, my age is 100, and my height is 10 feet, and my weight is 80 kg. That is matching. So if I remove my age, okay, everything else in the same place. Height is in the height place, weight is in the weight place, Ganesh in the Ganesh place, but my age is undefined. I'm able to locate the problem. That one problem I created, not disturbing the entire structure. Okay, it is only creating a problem where the item is missing. Unlike array, if you refer it by index, if you move one item, remove one item, everything else will be pushed to the things, right? If I remove the first item, the second item will become first item, third item will become second item, and that is what messing up my entire code in the first place. Now, with this key value pairs, this is going to be easy. Now, this is not the only thing that you can do with things. So I can say full name, otherwise tell name. I can have my first name there as a property. You don't have to use everything that you have kept in the array. You can use whatever you want. Okay. So if I wanted to know the full name of my self, I can put a method in this, like this, in the object, and I can say return this. So when I say this actually contains this context. This is the value of this. So I can say this dot name plus a space plus this dot first name. So now console.log Ganesh dot tell name is a method and I call it. If I execute undefined now, this is not being referred to this. Is it the thing that is messing up? Okay. So now if I use this function, this keyword actually, so arrow functions are actually changing the scope of the particular elements. Now, this is a method. Okay. These are all the properties of that particular person. This is method. So he is trained to tell me a name. When I ask, tell me name, when I ask like this, he's saying me the full name. Okay. And I can train this guy. I can train this object like this. What you do. Okay. Return value. I work as and if I call that method, now I have a method. Method name is what do you do? I'm calling that method and it's saying I work as a software engineer. So object is a combination of properties and methods. What is the properties? I mean, what are the holdings of that particular object and what that object can do? Okay, it can interact with me with the information that what I do and what I can, and you can build this object to an extent where you want to do something. Okay, so there's no stopping that I would use this method, that function, or that this function over. So you can do anything you want with this object. Is this clear? Object, definition of object is it's a set of key value pairs. In the array, in the case of array, it's a set of items, each item stored in an index with 0, 1, 2, 3. So that is array definition. Here, object definition is simple. It is set of key value pairs. Each item in object is associated with a name. Instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, it is associated with a name to it, so that you can identify the particular property that you want. Okay, instead of saying array. So you know the problem. If you refer it by 0, 1, 2, 3, if one item is removed, the 0 item become first item will become 0, 0 item, 2 item become 1. So entire structure changes, but there's no chance that structure changes with this approach, wherein you can only refer a particular property. You can access the particular property with its name. So that's the challenge objects are solving. So I'll give a pause for questions.
I have a question about the this keyword. So in your example, if you had said instead just return Ganesh.name, it would have been the same answer, right? If you didn't use this. So I guess I haven't really figured out like what the point of using the this is then. Just
This diagram represents the window, document, and element. Okay, window, document, and element. So window has a context, right? Window will hold everything. That means there is a space for this window. Okay, document also have some space, and in that space we store elements. Element also has some space, in that we store text, inner HTML, height, width, lot of things. Okay, so JavaScript kind of stores this, refers this context as this. So kind of declaring a variable called this and storing everything here. So now if your context, execution context is on window, that this will become window. So if I go to here, So it's easy to explain on the window about this. So if I say this, the context is window. So entire window object is now is in this. So now when it comes to document, like say document, okay, if I am writing something on the document dot add event listener, maybe click, maybe function, I'm writing a function to listen on click, console.log. So now if I log this, see, I'm logging here. When I click this, this context is now document. So this is a keyword. This is a keyword that is stored the entire scope of that particular context. So if I'm clicking it, the context of this will be the value of this will be the context that it is happening. What is happening currently? Where is the compiler? Is the this. So if I log here again this, it is window. So JavaScript kind of. So if I've called this function, this value will become the entire scope, the scope of this, because the Ganesh object has a scope, and the entire scope, if it has a scope, that will become this. Otherwise, the parent, what is the parent to Ganesh? Parent to Ganesh is window, that will be this value. If this particular property, if this particular object has a this, the entire object is this. So if I change tomorrow Ganesh to something else, I shouldn't change. If I use Ganesh here, I shouldn't change here also. I don't know how many times I've used this method name inside it. So it's not a good way to know. If I'm referring a variable that is inside the same context, you can say this.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So you don't have to refer the name of that particular item. I cannot, if you want to refer explicitly, you can say window. Window is still accessible thing, but you don't know what is window is. So Ganesh is no, okay. So I made a mistake. Okay. So I can still say window is not defined in this. So it is not able to find that particular context here. So now, because I'm executing it in a console. There's no window here. If this is being executed in the browser like this, if I copy this, if I'm doing it in the browser, I expect the same thing to happen. Okay. Tail name is actually written undefined. This has become undefined. There is no error. Window is found, but nothing in window. On window, there's no property called name. If you could see, let me type window. Is there a property called name? No. MNOP. Okay. There's a property created with name, but zero. Nothing in it. So it's like, it's better we say if this is going to be, if this has a context, and if you wanted to access anything in this context, like between these progresses, you say this. You don't have to refer the name each time. If it is a click event, the click button will be the context. so that this will give you the click button. So that's how it changes. Now we talked about scope, and JavaScript has two scopes, local scope and global scope. Global scope is something this. So if I create a variable on top like this, maybe a global var, and I say this is out of topmost, this is in topmost layer. So I can access this in the tell name. Okay, clear. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I was accessing Ganesh, but I renamed this to Sumer. Clear, no bugs. Now this is topmost layer. So this is coming. The global var is able to access, is accessible here. But if I put this inside another function, global function. Now this is global function, and global function will hold the thing. Now, if I execute same method, this will say global var is not defined, because if you first refer a variable, it will try to find it in the same scope, in the scope. If it did not find that variable in this scope, it will move to topmost layer and search in this scope, the topmost scope. It doesn't find, it will say not defined. But if it is outside of some other function, just in the topmost layer, it is able to find. But if you have it in another function, this will become this variable if is now in the local scope of another function. Okay, this variable is created on this context, not on this context. So you will not be able to access it elsewhere. So that's the difference between. So if you have, so let me comment these things. Okay, if you, since we are talking about local scope, let me console it and log it. We call this method. Method should be declared once and called again. Until unless you call it, it will not execute. Now it is able to find topmost layer is this. Now if I move it to the top, it is still fine, because earlier it was here in the local scope, it was still able to find. If it is outside, it will still find, because if we can't find here, it will search here. So it is defined here. It's good. It is able to find. But if this guy is moved to another scope, function B, and define another scope, it will not be able to access. Either it should be in its local scope or should be in global scope. So you cannot define a variable inside a function or some other context and refer it in some other context. You cannot do that. Either it should be in its own local scope or it should be on the global scope. Again, this is in innermost layer. You can define two variables with same name in same variable. Innermost layer I've defined here, and these two are different, not the same. If you could see the innermost layer, if I'm logging global var, it is taking the innermost layer one, because the first priority is to look for the local scope. But if I don't have it, it goes to the topmost layer. So that's the way the scope of the variable. So this is a very, very important task. Lot of the problems for the developers come from this location only. This is the problem that you might face. So always remember, if you need one variable everywhere, somewhere, in a lot of places, you always declare it on the topmost. So not inside, don't keep that in a function or a condition. Okay, if you need a variable in different places, bring it to the topmost layer and keep it there and use it as many times as you want. If you want, in a particular function, only declare in the particular function. So that's scopes. So, and another thing that you need to understand is, if I change the global variable here, I have all, if I have the access, I can say, I can change the value. I changed the value. Okay, see, I have declared a variable here, and in a function, I changed the global variable. Now I log the variable. Okay. What is happening? It is replacing, it is taking, this method is taking out the value here. Like this. That is what happening. You can change this variable from any bottom location and the change will be affected everywhere else. That is mutated. The object is now mutated. So if I console log right after the function as well, both times if I don't call this function, it will still be, it is now the topmost layer. So if I call this function is changing that method, that topmost layer. Sorry, somebody is trying to speak. Was it Shravan? You're trying to speak?
No, bro.
Somebody was trying to speak and they were able to. So I can change this variable from inside a function, and that will take effect entire application. So this function call is going in here and it is changing the variable and it is logging it, coming back and executing this. This is also logging the changed value. So you can change it, but remember, if there are two variables and the second variable is here and I changed it is only changing here, not here. So my topmost log is intact. Is only changing the local variable. Got it? The local reference is being changed. So I can see that this statement executed, I can see the changed log. But when it comes out of the function, and this is not inside a function, it is out of the function. Now this is this statement not referring this global var, but instead this is referring this var, and I am seeing this value for this statement, this value for this statement. Any questions? If you change a global variable from inside the function, any function, it will definitely affect the global one. If you're changing the local variable, it will only affect until the context. So that is scopes in a nutshell. Okay, so console log got this, console log from inside the function. Okay. I am seeing. So you'll see a lot of jargons here. So the first console log actually rendering the V8 engine. If you could see, I saw node V8 engine somewhere. So there is no way figuring out which log is which because there is so much text returning. See, so this is the function scope, empty, and this is the topmost scope. So you can see two logs. V8 engine, V8 start was at this point of time. Node was started at this point of time. The duration was 29 nanoseconds. In the 29 nanoseconds, it was executed. Performance, no timing. So it was storing a lot of data and executing it. So this scope changes according to the place which you are referring. So I think I'll stop the sharing.